I'm Chelsea and I'm so grateful you chose to watch this video today. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about what my hair type is. What is my texture? What is my porosity? What is my density? All of that, I'm going to be putting it to the test and letting you guys know my opinions on hair typing, my opinions on porosity, product selection based on all of this stuff, some methods that I use to moisturize my hair. So I'm really excited for you guys to watch and join in the conversation with me in the comments. Let me know what's your porosity, what is your hair type, what is your texture. Definitely give me a thumbs up if you end up liking the video. Subscribe to my channel so you can follow everything that I'm doing, and let's get started. So before we get started, I just want to say everything that I'm saying is not my own information, just like pulling it out of my head. It's just through a bunch of different research, different YouTube videos. Shalinda1 has a really good YouTube video on hair typing. Daye La Soul, I watched her video on hair typing. I'm gonna leave both of those videos in the description box because I learned a lot. And then I also learned a lot from this book right here, The Science of Black Hair. I've mentioned this before on my channel. I learned about this book from NaturallyPhilo here on YouTube. I love her channel, very, very educational. Like a textbook basically for black hair. So the two hair typing systems that I'm gonna talk about is one, the LOIS system, and then two, the Andre Walker system. And in that hair typing system, basically your type 1s are straight, type 2s are wavy, type 3s are curly, type 4s are kinky. Definitely I am type 4, and then they break down the type 4 into 4A, 4B, and 4C. From my understanding, 4A was kind of like a coily kinky, 4B was more like an S kinky, and then 4C was pretty much a zigzag, to where you don't really see very much texture. Now when my hair is soaking wet, it doesn't really have a texture of its own. You can kind of see a little bit of like a S-type kink that my hair has, like kind of generally all over. So I feel like I'm mostly 4B, but my hair texture looks different in the back of my head, in the front of my head, the middle of my head. So in the back, I feel like it is a little bit looser, maybe some 4A back there. And then in my middle of my head, is a little bit tighter, so maybe some 4C in the middle of my head. I'm like an average of a 4B. And then once I start to put products in my hair, it clumps the kinks and curls together a little bit better. But you can see even in the front of my head, as I try to like clump together and make a little coil, it looks different in like almost the same area in the front of my head. So a lot of different textures. Even when I style my hair using gel for like a wash and go, it looks different in the front of my head, the back of my head, the middle of my head. So I say all that to say, I feel like there is a reason for hair typing, but at the same time, it's not as important as your porosity, your density, and your thickness of your strands. What you can use hair typing for is not necessarily differentiating between 4A, 4B, 4C, but if someone has type 2 wavy hair and I have type 4 kinky hair, I'm gonna be the one that's more likely to get single strand knots. Single strand knots are when at the end of your hair, pretty much, I can feel it on my hair right now. Because my hair is so kinky, it knots up on itself and gets in little knots. And the only way to get rid of them is to trim them out. So if you have type 4 hair, you may be like, oh, I need to trim my hair when I can feel these single strand knots, because I'm more prone to getting them because my hair is kinky. Another reason hair typing might be useful is your moisture retention. I feel like type 4 hair is harder to retain moisture because our scalp naturally produces sebum, and that is what's supposed to naturally moisturize our hair. But because our hair strands are so kinky, the sebum cannot travel to the end of our hair and flow down like it would on somebody who has straight hair. So we have to add more moisture, seal in our moisture, more so than somebody who has straight or wavy hair. Someone who has curly hair in type 3, they probably deal with the same thing. Last reason I feel like typing your hair is useful, watching YouTube videos. I really don't watch videos from girls who have type 3 hair or type 2 or straight hair. I'm mostly looking at people that their hair looks like mine, kinky. Your hair may perform similarly to someone whose hair looks like yours, but at the same time you have to take into account their density, porosity, and thickness of their strands. Left these little twists in my hair because with type 4 hair, you can pretty much mold it into the shape you want it to be. So like 10 to 15 minutes before I started this video, I put some twists in my hair so I can take them out on here and show you that you can alter the texture of your hair by doing a twist out, a braid out. And then this isn't your natural texture, but it is so versatile that you can make your hair however you want it to look. So that's another reason I really love my hair type. I feel like it looked better with the twist in. I pretty much feel the same way about the LOIS as I feel about the number and letter system. The L is if your hair has bends and right angles, like the letter L. O is if your strands are rolled up into a circle, a coil. I is if your hair lies flat with no distinct curves. And then S is if the strand looks like a wavy line with hills and valleys. Pretty much the same difference, is just another way of looking at typing your hair. Now let's get into what is more important, and that is first up, porosity. What is porosity, you ask? Porosity is the hair's ability or inability to absorb water or chemicals into the cortex. Cortex is like the center of the strand of the hair. Porosity can be either normal, low, or high. And a way you can test it is by taking a clean strand of hair. You set it in a bowl of water. I kind of pushed it in a little bit. We'll leave it and check it in a minute. My strand is still sitting at the top of the water. That means it's low porosity. If you have low porosity, it sits on top. And I did kind of push it in a little bit. That's why it's like hanging down. If it was normal porosity, it would be more so like floating in the middle. And then if it was high porosity, it would go to the bottom. So how well your hair is able to absorb water is critical, because water is what moisturizes your hair. It takes a lot for my hair to absorb products. What I have learned from Shalinda One's video is to use warm water before you put your products on, because it opens your cuticles, helps them absorb easier. But before that, I always would notice that products would sit on top of my hair. It just felt like my hair was always dry. If you have low porosity, it's hard to get moisture in because the cuticles are closed down, low porosity. But once you get the moisture in, using that warm water, get the moisture in, seal it down, it can stay moisturized for a long time. So that was like a game changer for me. My hair does not feel dry anymore. I know how to moisturize my hair. High porosity, you have a lot more cuticles that are raised on your hair strand, so it's easy for moisture to get in, but it's also easy for it to get out of your hair. The next thing that really matters when you're, it matters but it doesn't matter, is density. Density is basically if you took like a 1 by 1 inch square section of your hair, how much hair is there? My hair is high density. Like, you can't see my scalp from just looking at my hair. High density. This to me does not matter as far as like product selection or the way you moisturize your hair. Someone who does a certain style and has a high density hair like you do, you may be able to see how it's gonna turn out on your hair. You would look at my hair and be like, dang, her hair is thick. My hair is not thick, I just have high density. But my actual strands of my hair, strand size is the last category. My strand size is thin. And the way you can test this, if your hair is fine, it is thinner than a piece of thread. If your hair is medium, that means it's about the same thickness as a piece of thread. And anything thicker than the piece of thread is thick. So let's compare my strand of hair. My strand is so fine that you can barely even see it, and it's way thinner than this piece of thread. Your strands are super thin. You just have a lot of them. I just have a lot of them on my head. In my little 1-inch section, I probably have 1,000 strands of fine hair, which makes my hair look thick, but my strands are actually fine. Porosity and strand size are very important when you're trying to care for your hair. Is product selection. What products are you gonna use when you have fine hair? You're gonna use light products because you don't wanna weigh your hair down. If you have a thicker strand, coarser hair, you may wanna use a heavier product. For example, the Shea Moisture Curl and Style Milk. I love that as a moisturizer. It is super light. It moisturizes my hair and does not weigh my hair down. It matters what your strand size is when you're picking products. In what order you layer them matters when you're trying to moisturize your hair. I used to moisturize using the LOC method. Your liquid, oil, and then a cream. That's more for like a high porosity person, because you are getting your liquid, maybe you use a leave-in, sealing it in with the oil, and then you put another layer of moisture in, because you need that extra layer of moisture because the moisture is gonna try to leave quicker with high porosity hair. What I've been doing lately is the LCO method. So my liquid, then a cream, which I usually use as a curl and style milk, and then an oil to seal all that in, because once I get all that in, it's not going anywhere. So my hair usually stays moisturized, I would say, for like a week, because I usually wash my hair once a week anyway. Thing is, I tried something new. I follow Bria Larine here on YouTube, and the way she moisturizes her hair, I don't know what her hair porosity is or anything like that, but she puts the oil directly on her wet hair to seal in all that water, and then she puts her products on top of that. And I tried that. All I did was, after I rinsed out my deep conditioner, I sealed in the moisture with this oil right here. I don't know exactly what's in it because I got this from a small local business in my city. It's called La May, and I think the oil has like castor oil and some other oils in it, but you can use any oil to seal it in. Put this Cantu Leave-in on top of it, and I never tried that before, and my hair is so soft. I guess that would be an OL method. I just use the oil and then a liquid for a leave-in for my liquid. So I really like it, and I want to see if it continues to work, because that's less products, less time I have to spend moisturizing my hair. I feel like I have said a lot. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments. If you think that I said something wrong, let me know. If you want to tell me about your hair's texture and porosity, let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and subscribe to my channel. Let me know what else you would like to see from me. But yeah, that is it. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.